We can't complain about discrimination. You can't get mad when you see black Americans joining ICE. No. Talking about why are black Americans against us? Oh, stop. Anti-blackness is literally at this point part of Latino upbringing. Shit. Even the black people of Latin America are anti-black American. They come to this country talking about, we're not black like them. Right. Where do you think the whole Mino black comes from? In case y'all ever wonder, I get DMs all the time from Latinos. Ricardo, why aren't you speaking up against ICE? Why will I speak up against something that you voted for, that you wanted for yourselves? Why would I speak up when it's you who joined ICE to help deport people that look just like you? What is there to help? You tell me, what is there to help? You cannot complain about discrimination when you voted for it and you join it, you participate. I grew up my whole youth, black Americans always telling me, I wish we black people, we were as united, like you Latinos, like you Mexicans. I hope that 2024 elections taught you that Latinos have never been united. Never. There's only been just the illusion that there was unity. But I promise you that for a long time, Cubans as a collective, they never liked the Mexicans. They never liked the Venezuelans, etc. The Mexicans, for a long time, they never liked the Puerto Ricans. They never liked the Salvadorians. It's just been smoke and mirrors. Actually, you know what? I take that back. Latinos have been united about two things, actually, collectively. Latinos have been united in collectively being anti-black, that's number one. And number two, Latinos have always been united and agreed in worshiping white people. That's the only thing they've been united about. But anything else? Nope. Shout out to the Latinos that did not vote for Trump. This video is not directed at you. Shout out to you. This video is directed at the pendejos for Trump and also pieces of shit like this.
Check out my disguise, homie. I'm on my yacht now, fool. With the gang. Catch me outside, we'll go bang bang.
Since the 1970s, California, particularly Los Angeles, has seen repeated tension between the Latin and Black American communities, particularly those descended from U.S. slavery, known as freedmen. While mainstream media often frames the Latino and Black communities as natural allies due to shared struggles with poverty and discrimination, historical and grassroots realities tell a more complicated truth. Dating back to the 1950s, the League of United Latin American Citizens, LULAC, the oldest Latino civil rights organization in the U.S., made strategic decisions to distance itself from Black Americans. During the civil rights era, instead of aligning with Black-led movements like the NAACP or SNCC, LULAC sought to elevate the legal status of Latinos by identifying as white in court documents and census classifications. They rejected being grouped with Black people, fearing that association would weaken their quest for inclusion into white America. The organization consistently prioritized assimilation and upward mobility within a white supremacist framework over building a multiracial coalition. Over the decades, freedmen leaders in Los Angeles, such as those from the Black Panther Party and later grassroots activists, tried numerous times to build a meaningful coalition with Latino organizations. From the 1970s into the early 2000s, efforts were made to unite around issues like police brutality, education, labor rights, and gang violence. But these efforts repeatedly failed due to a lack of reciprocal commitment from Latino leadership. Many Latino organizations and community groups, especially in Southern California, either ignored the plight of Black Americans or pursued self-interest without acknowledging the anti-Blackness within their own ranks. The political term Black and Brown Coalition was often used by Latino politicians and advocacy groups to secure support or funding, but rarely followed by actions that genuinely uplifted Black communities. Perhaps the most violent expression of anti-Blackness came not from policy, but from the streets. Beginning in the 1980s and escalating through the 1990s, Mexican gangs in Los Angeles, including Barrio 204, Florencia 13, and the notorious 18th Street Gang carried out organized campaigns to terrorize and forcibly remove black families from historically black neighborhoods such as Watts, Compton, South Central, and Highland Park. These were not random gang conflicts. Federal and city investigations confirmed these were racially motivated hate crimes. Black residents were told they didn't belong, pew-pewette, for simply walking on the sidewalk, and sometimes unalived solely for being black in a now Latino majority area. This era saw the decline of black presence in certain areas where they had once been dominant. Many black families fled to the Inland Empire or out of state altogether, with little to no political or community pushback from Latino leaders on the violence. Racist attitudes weren't limited to gangs. Over decades, several Latino politicians in LA and California have expressed disdain for black communities. Most notably, the 2022 leaked audio from LA City Council members Nury Martinez, Gil Cedillo, and Kevin De Leon revealed them mocking black children, calling them derogatory names, and plotting to weaken black political power. These weren't fringe figures. They were the elected leadership of the city. Their comments proved that anti-blackness runs deep in political institutions, even among different Latin ethnic groups. In the police ranks, many Latino officers adopted and enforced the same anti-black policies and culture long embedded in LAPD, disproportionately targeting black men with excessive force and racial profiling. These officers often displayed more loyalty to the blue wall than to any notion of black and brown solidarity. In recent years, the Latin community has suffered aggressive immigration enforcement actions, especially during the Trump administration. ICE raids have torn apart families and deported people who lived in the U.S. for decades. Many black observers have called this a form of karmic justice, not out of malice, but as a reminder that when Latin communities chose to align themselves with white supremacy, whether in the form of silence on black suffering, displacement through gentrification, or political disrespect, those same structures turned on them. Black Americans, especially freedmen, warned for decades that racism does not stop with them. But unity cannot be achieved when one side continuously ignores or participates in the subjugation of the other.
I am so proud of you guys for laying low, minding your business, and saying this is not our fight. I say this all the time, that people cannot hinder your destination if you don't give them the GPS to your location. I honestly feel the more we stay silent, the more the truth is uncovered. Does anybody else feel like that? To be honest with you, I don't even have the fight in me to go back and forth with them anymore because it's just not the same mentality. I'm waiting on them to self-destruct. When some shit pop off, they are always looking for somebody to blame. And this time it can't be us.
Black women are cowards for saying that this is not our fight and for sitting this one out. That's what one of your favorite content creators said on here. They have over 200,000 followers. And they basically said that black women were, spineless. I think the word was spineless that she used for sitting this one out and for saying that this is not their fight. And as a Latina who has a community who's being impacted by this presidency, I'm going to give my 2 cents on that. It is no one's job to show up and protest with anybody. Black women did what they were supposed to do at the booths, what everybody else should have done at the booths. Now, I welcome anybody who stands in solidarity with the Latino community from home, out in the front lines, whatever you want to do. But to sit here and to feel so entitled to be mad at the black community for not, or black women for not showing up, when there is so many other communities that voted for this mess, you're mad at, like, you can be mad at so many other people, at so many other things, but you choose black women to be mad at. Why? Out of all people, why? You could be mad at the Asian community. You could be mad at the Latino community. Trust me, I've been mad. I've been mad. And to sit here as a person that's mixed and specifically point out black women, a little problematic. It gives entitlement. And you would think I would be on her side because I would want for more people to back up the Latinos and to be out there and protest because this is everybody's fight. But at the end of the day, it's no one's job to show up. If they want to, good for them. And if they don't, I respect it. Take your break, honey. Like, I'm not even mad at you.
1 million people are going to march in the United States on April 5th. 1 million people. Sit your black ass down.
Sit down, y'all. This ain't our fight. This ain't our fight.
When I see comments like this, I get frustrated, and I really shouldn't say anything. This was on another creator's video, but I had to say something because we understood the assignment. Black people understood the assignment. 92% of black women, 80% of black men. We voted in November so this wouldn't happen. We never abandoned you. It's your own people. It's Latino voters. He wouldn't have won if he didn't get a boost in Latino voting. 47% of Latino men, 38% of Latino women voted against their best interests. And so, yes, a lot of black people are resting. We're resting up because we know we always have had a target on our backs. It's always been a target on black people's backs. We have been fighting for over 400 years in this country for freedom from slavery, the suffragette movement, civil rights movement, third wave feminism, LGBTQ rights have all been built off the backs of black people. We have always been at the forefront fighting.
Don't be surprised if before all of this is done, we all watch a child, like I'm talking 10-year-old child, executed in the streets, and then be told that they had it coming by both this administration and its supporters.
Tamir Rice was 12 years old when he was shot and killed by Cleveland police back in 2014. We're so very tired.
1 million people are going to march in the United States on April 5th. 1 million people.
Sit your black ass down.
Too political on my page or whatever. I just need for y'all to realize something though. This saying of black people, y'all don't care, black people, why y'all in the streets, why y'all not marching? I think what people don't realize is that even in these moments, y'all are still not looking at everything that black people have been through for 250 years. Do y'all not realize that what is happening to y'all now have always been happening to us? So forgive us if we are a little bit desensitized at the fact that there's been, today there's another police and ICE unaliving, or there's this. Do y'all know that's how we've had to live our whole entire life? To us, this is normal. To us, this is normal. And I don't think that a lot of people are realizing that we are kind of desensitized to the brutality that we know how bad and vile it can get. We've had to live that our whole entire life. But I think the part that y'all don't realize is that everybody have now become us. Because see, first we were just separated. Now that y'all see how it feels to be black in America, you know what? I take that back. I'm giving y'all too much credit. Y'all know exactly what is going on. Because Exhibit A, could we please get back to regular police brutality? Please explain to us, to the Congress, please explain to us what is regular police brutality. Because see, for years, y'all acted like police brutality was not a thing. Y'all was Blue Lives Matter and, just comply. Why didn't they just comply? Now we realize that, hey, none of that matters. And y'all wonder why y'all feel like we sitting back. And it's not even much the fact that we're sitting back. We just, our fight right now is just, for us, it's just in the house. That is our fight. Because see, like I keep on saying, y'all didn't realize that those polls showed us exactly how every single culture felt about us. So why are we going to fight for y'all when y'all ain't never fought for us? Like, come on. Y'all can't expect for, like, somebody keep on getting kicked down. We still supposed to be getting up and yes, master, let me help y'all. Child. No. And again, absolutely hate everything that's happening. Absolutely hate it. This has always been happening to us, though. Where was y'all at? Y'all was sitting back pretending like this didn't exist. Now it exists. Now y'all, because it was okay if it was just black people. And that's why we in the house. Thank you.
For all the black Americans saying ICE isn't our problem.
They're not our damn problem. ICE has been around for so many goddamn presidential elects. Just because Trump is in the office and ICE is being shown in the masses the way that he's been, or they've been shown lately, they've been around. They was around with Bush. They was around with Clinton. They was around with Barack Obama. ICE has been around. I don't know what it is, but since President Trump has been elected, now all of a sudden the energy has shifted with ICE being on this catastrophic scale that they have always been on. It's just more public display of what ICE is doing. And why the hell do the black folks gotta come to the front and center? Like, please, and I ain't even saying it from no bad way, because I don't want nothing to happen to nobody, to no goddamn human being. But at the same time, what the hell do the black Americans got to do with? No, sir. No, sir, Bob. No, Jonathan, no.
Black people, good morning. On the topic of the ICE protests going on in LA, now nationwide, yesterday I said black people should stay out of it. Sit this one out. I maintained that, but I didn't say why. A lot of people are being petty when they say that, but I'm not. I really mean that. Not because their fight isn't our fight. No. Because ultimately, constitutional rights are being infringed upon. And Hispanic people make up 20% of the country. They are the most populous minority group. Again, not being paid towards them in what I said, we've already had this fight. Because black people, remember, the United States as we know it was not always united. We had Union states and Confederate states. So people who were escaping slavery, as we all know, could be captured and killed, lynched, whatever, or sent back to their plantation right up underneath their master. As per the Fugitive Slave Act of 1793 and 1850, which eventually was repealed in 1864. That Fugitive Slave Act is the outline of the ICE as an organization. It's literally the outline. Black people, we've done this already. Our time with that then came and went. That's already part of our story and our history. Hispanic people have an opportunity because, in truth, those who are eligible to vote, half of them voted for Kamala, the other half voted for Trump. Hispanic people have anti-blackness, nationalism, and otherism within their own communities that needs to be addressed in their own communities. Because in the last video that I posted, I gave figures. The black people who were eligible to vote overwhelmingly voted for Kamala. The Hispanic people who were eligible to vote, again, it was split. Half voted for Kamala, the other half voted for Trump. Black people, we understand that the promise of privilege should not come before civil rights. Because again, like I said, as per things like the Fugitive Slave Act, we understand the history and how this country operates. And I'm not saying that Hispanic people don't, but the context that they exist in within this country is very different than ours. And those differences overlap into things like white supremacy. That, again, I reiterate, they need to address as a community so they can grow and evolve. So things like this that directly affect them don't happen again. But that can't be done with the use of black bodies in their protests, because this is their time. This is part of their story. It's a great time and a beautiful story to have. That's why I'm saying we need to stay out of it. Just providing context, y'all have a good day.
This fight has nothing to do with black people in America. Zero.
All of y'all who are saying this is not our fight, I'm trying to understand where we're coming from, because I understand that black people be on the forefront of a lot of different movements, and that our movements have paved the way for other groups, marginalized groups, to get rights in America. So I'm understanding where the logic is going, but I'm telling you the logic is flawed. Anytime anything has ever happened in America, we have always been the scapegoats. We have always been the last leg of the line. They are going to find a way to make this about black people. They're going to find a way to make this touch black people. They already have. Like, maybe y'all weren't paying attention in class, but in Nazi Germany, did y'all forget that the Gestapo also targeted, sterilized, murdered, and put in concentration camps black Germans? Like, this idea that this will not affect us and that it's not our fucking fight. Are you cool? Like, what the fuck are you? And mind you, we're not saying that right now that black people are the most affected group. What we're saying is that a loss of rights for one is a domino effect.
That's not true. This fight has nothing to do with black people in America. Zero. It's not our fight. And what's happening is that the liberals and the Democrats are very upset that black people aren't joining in. There's a lot of reports out there. There's a lot of people talking that wish that Renee Good was black because they feel like they would get more traction with what they got going on. What's missing for this whole fight and these anti-ICE protests is black people. They need black people. But people are going on here saying it's not our fight. They're trying to get the Latinos in the California, Los Angeles. They had a couple protests, Boyle Heights, downtown LA. I'm from the LA area. They're trying to recruit more nationalities to help them push this narrative. They wish that person that got shot in Minnesota or Minneapolis, Renee Good, was of a different race. It's because they need the people to push their agenda. If that was a Latino, if that was a black person, they would have way more people doing these protests. They don't have the juice. It's because we're not joining it. What does this benefit black people if they jump into it? Nothing. Because there's so many things that black people done protested and got the short end of the stick. What it is, black people are just being smart. That's exactly what it is. Black people are like, you know what? We've been here before. We've done so many protests, Black Lives Matter, protests for this, say her name, protest, this and this. But what did we really get out of it? Absolutely nothing. So black people are chilling out. Black people are like, this has nothing to do with us. Because you know why? When we had these things happen in our issues, in our community, where were these other people claiming to help? Where were these other people? Where's the Somalians? Where's the Nigerians? Where were the white people? Where were the Latinos? Where were all these people at when we had our stuff going on? Look at the marches. It was 90% black.
Well, you see, if you're talking about Americans in America legally, then they have absolutely nothing to fear from ICE. But these dim-witted celebs seem not to be able to differentiate between legal and illegal immigrants, including the dude in the number 4 spot of our lefties losing it at the Grammys, Shabuzi, who was in tears as he deliberately confused illegal and legal migrants.
Immigrants built this country, literally. So this is for them, for all children of immigrants. This is also for those who came to this country in search of better opportunity to be a part of a nation that promised freedom for all and equal opportunity to everyone willing to work for it. Thank you for bringing your culture, your music, your stories, and your traditions here. You give America color. I love y'all so much. Thank you.
Now to the coveted number 2 position, and it's Billie Eilish with one of the dumbest statements ever uttered on stage. She claims here that nobody is illegal on stolen land. If you don't believe in borders, Billie, then how can anyone be on stolen land? Think about it. And it's all well and good to spew such absurd platitudes when you live in a mansion behind big walls and gates with armed security nearby. Watch here as the simpletons in the crowd, including Sabrina Carpenter, clap like trained seals at Billie's profoundly stupid words.
No one is illegal on stolen land. And yeah, it's just really hard to know what to say and what to do right now.
It's hard to know what to say. She went on to say F ICE, just so brave and so profound. But she's not number 1 because this next dude, the host of the Grammys, wins for saying something so silly that he could see him sued for defamation and financially ruined. Not sure this joke was worth a likely lawsuit, Trevor Noah.
That is a Grammy that every artist wants, almost as much as Trump wants Greenland. Which makes sense. I mean, because Epstein's island is gone, he needs a new one to hang out with Bill Clinton, so...
And that cheap, unfunny joke may cost Trevor Noah dearly.
Hey, what's up? Sorry?
You touch me.
Anthony D'Olivero, the host of the Jumps travel documentary channel on YouTube, was assaulted while vlogging in Georgetown on his recent trip to Guyana. This was a lowlight in a week of bad publicity for tourism in Guyana, sparking discussions about tourism, hospitality, Guyanese culture, and filming in public.
I realized that I'm late to the party with the French blogger that went to Guyana and got ill-treated. And a lot of people are calling this out for what it is. Racism. more importantly, internalized racism, right? Because this was a black man that got slapped in the face by another black man because he was upset that somebody was pushing a camera in his face. But as many of you pointed out, and rightly so, if this were a white man walking through the streets of Guyana, his skin color alone would have protected him from that kind of violence.
I will be adding Guyana to my do not travel list for the foreseeable future. I'm sorry, I've seen what I needed to see, and I will not be planning any vacations there. So if you haven't seen it, there is a travel vlogger. His channel is called Jump Travel Documentary. He's a black man from France, and he went to Guyana and obviously was vlogging. And the way that he was treated was horrible. It was horrible. And it wasn't even like it was just one bad interaction. The people treated him so terribly. It was honestly pitiful. It like literally made you feel bad how badly they treated this man. And I just know that if he was a white tourist, he would not have got treated like that. He would have got catered to. Like, it was disgusting.
I want to talk about that tourist video with the guy that was shooting content in Guyana. Listen, that guy don't have 1 inch of blood for me, but let me tell you something. That video sent me crazy. Monkeys know where limb for jump on, you know. Because if that was critics or some minister person that videoing somebody or some other content creator somebody, they wouldn't do this thing like this. Or if it was a white man, he wouldn't do that. Why isn't he getting charged? Why is he in jail or something? What's going on with the system? How could you hit somebody like that and get off? That video sent me crazy when I see that video. Why is nobody doing anything about it? Why is the video circulating, going viral? You know, people is go to different countries doing vlogs, showcasing a lot of things, and nobody don't do them nothing. Here comes Guyana, Guyanese. Disrespectful people. You know, if that person had any inch of blood for me, let me tell you, I want to go through the hooks and the crooks to make sure you get charged or make sure you feel the penalty. Because that's disrespectful. You should not be walking around freely, hitting somebody in the face just like. He should be made an example. If the law doesn't take it, do nothing, somebody should make an example and let you feel it. I felt it for that man. That is so disrespectful. You slap somebody just like everybody's vlog. In this 21st century, everybody have their camera out vlogging, doing something. And you gonna just hit somebody. But Monkey know what limb for jump on, because if it was critics was there, you would have never done that. You would have never done that.
Now, people from Trinidad and Guyana, you're not excluded from this smoke. You know damn well that the Trini Indians and the Guyanese Indians or coolies are racist or colorists. They always telling their daughter, oh, bring home an Indian boy, and be vexed if they ever bring home a black man or a man with more Afrocentric features. I have a good Trinidadian friend who always say, he's like a shade lighter than me. He will always say, I think, God, I'm not darker than any darker than how I am. Watch your mouth, boy. And I know it's not your fault. It's your parents' fault. And if that should come from slavery, but watch your mouth, boy. We love Trini. We love Guyana. But all of this dividing between black and Indian or native or aboriginal, how you say it, has got to stop. No one man or one woman is better than anybody just because of the color of their skin and how straight them hair is. Idiot.
Is it possible that somebody white could have gotten assaulted? Sure, definitely. But is it likely? No. This black man had to consistently say throughout several of the videos that I saw that he was French in order to protect himself. He had to associate himself with a European country in order to maintain some sort of credibility as to why he would be blogging in the streets of Georgetown. Mind you, one creator rightly pointed out that the people of Guyana are not strangers to being filmed with all the CCTV and, you know, the 4,000 surveillance cameras that Jack Dio said they're going to install in the country. And this is the message that we're sending to tourists. We as a Guyanese people, we got to do better, man. No wonder the rest of the Caribbean ain't trying to claim us.
Guyana, it don't look good. A black man visits a country as a tourist and explore your country, and you target that man. You realize when the bombing happened in Guyana, you realize they use a whitey man, right? They use a man where one would not target. You would not do the same thing where you do. If you was doing the same thing that you do to the black man, to that whitey person that put the bomb at the gas station and unalive an innocent girl, you will get justice already. But because you're profiling the wrong person, the person who have good intention, the person who recording, the person who least likely to be an agent, that are the person who you target, that are the person you choose to be racist to and all these things. You don't look good. You brand your country as a racist country in 2026. Then your country get branded as a racist country in 2026. And you don't even have whitey people down there.
Alright, see, I've been waiting on this. What is my take on these two tourists and the way they were treated differently? The Ministry of Tourism highlighted the same thing which I thought. This has to do a lot with the judiciary. This has to do with a lot with the laws which are in Guyana to suppress the freedom of speech and the freedom of expression, because even the minister is saying that you have no right to video anyone's property or video anyone out in public. So Guyana should not be a tourist destination, because come on, understand this. If I go to America, I would like to take 2 pictures. I would like to video the community which I'm in. And it's very unethical that you will tell a vlogger that every single body who's going to come into contact or come into the area that he's videoing, he should get permission before. Because if you're videoing in a public space where people are walking up and down, you literally got to stop the video every 2 to 3 seconds to ask someone's permission to continue videoing. That won't make sense. So again, if they would like Guyana to be a tourist destination, these laws will need to be reviewed. So again, the Minister of Home Affairs and the Minister of Tourism will have to come to grips with what exactly they would like from Guyana. Because come on, you go to North Korea, you have to ask permission to film. But how much people trying to go to fucking North Korea, right? Every single country that is a tourist destination allows people to video unhindered. You go to America, you can video. You go to Jamaica, you can video. You go to Barbados, you can video. You go to Trinidad, you can video. How is Guyana going to be pushing the economy to become a tourism-based economy? And then on the same hand, we have laws which say you cannot do this, and you cannot do that, and you cannot do this, and you cannot do that. People will not come and spend $2,000 to $3,000 US to take a vacation that they cannot take a picture, make a vlog about, and basically have memories, right? A lot of people, this is how they pay for the trips. I'm very sure that these two guys, that's how they make their money, by posting on their social media. So again, being a tourist destination goes above that. A lot of the popular people who do tourist destination make money from the content. So if you're going to have a lot of laws that bars this, they're not going to come to Guyana. And this is not the first people to say that Guyana has a very bad reputation when it comes to tourists, right? A lot of people don't post about it. There was this white guy, right? I follow him on YouTube. I watch all his content on YouTube. He said that Guyana is one of the hardest places for you to make content, right? And this is things that the Ministry of Tourism got to look into. Guyana get a bad review on many occasions from many tourists. Like if you watch a lot of these small YouTubers that visit Guyana, was this guy that was doing a series, right? Where he used to follow Cartel to like all of Cartel shows when Cartel first come out. And the guy said Guyana is one of the hardest destinations to film in. So like when you're getting all these negative reviews, you're not going to get the tourism that you would like to have, because trust me, nobody's coming to spend their money in a country which they cannot make a video or take a picture and post it on their social media and go viral. You're living in the age where everybody wants to be popular on social media, and the only way for them to do that is by making content and posting. And again, this is exposure for the country. So y'all need to figure out what y'all would like to have, because at the end of the day, if y'all have these laws in place, you always find citizens willing to attack tourists. And some people might not look like a tourist. It's easier. So that's the only reason why they might attack this guy, because he looks like a tourist. This guy looks like a local. Same thing happened to Leon. And trust me, I've even seen this happen to a guy on Main Street where he was actually on a live and somebody approached him and attempted to take away the phone. So again, and the guy said the same thing. The guy said, I came here to see the lights and video and show my following. So, and yet still a local wanted to take away the man's phone. So yeah, the judiciary got to get it right, and that's Fox 100.
Guyanese are generally perceived to be warm and hospitable towards tourists. However, in my 10+ years of experience, I've noticed that filming in public exposes a glaring double standard. While Guyanese are generally averse to being on camera, unless they have something to complain about, they tend to be a lot less hostile if the person holding the camera is white. Of course, there have been other black influencers and vloggers who've had different experiences, like Wodamayo, who exists in a completely different niche and is way more popular than Anthony is. From what I've seen of his channel on YouTube, Anthony is typically a jovial, warm person, and his interactions tend to be polite and respectful. You don't have to take my word for it. You can go check out his channel. I'm also not entertaining any arguments about him filming in a rough part because it's the market and we've seen vloggers film in way rougher places than that. In fact, we've seen vloggers film in the same spaces with very different results. And for those talking about filming in public, in Guyana, if you're in public, it's more likely that you're on camera than you are off camera. Think about it. The government has cameras all over the place, especially in high traffic areas like the markets. Then there's businesses and private buildings with CCTV cameras covering their perimeter and entrances. What about the thousands of cars with dash cams, ring cameras, meta glasses, and then of course any and everyone with a smartphone? Looking at the video, you can see that this was very clearly just a passing interaction, not one where Anthony set up his camera, pointed it at these guys, and was clearly looking to start something. He was walking, going about his way on the vlog. And I think we can all agree that immediately resorting to assault is not the best way to handle a situation like that. Which is why it's good to see that the Ministry of Tourism, Industry and Commerce released a statement condemning the attack. It's clear that when we're confronted with issues like these, it becomes a discussion about Guyanese culture, caught between prejudices and stereotypes of the past and habits and practices of the present. And it might be time for us to accept that life in Georgetown is not as nice, pretty and perfect as we like to portray, even when the cameras aren't rolling. Regardless, as Guyana gets more popular, there will be many more solo travelers and vloggers looking to document their experiences while they travel through the country.
No one gives a crap.
Did he tell any lies? You can talk about his delivery, you can question his motives, you can even say that he's cherry picking, but you can't argue the reality. Ellis from the Skint Northerners, a British travel vlog channel on YouTube, just gave one of the most scathing and unfiltered reviews of Georgetown, Guyana. It was perhaps the most infamous lowlight in a week full of exposés about the sides of Guyana that tourists typically don't see and marketing understandably ignores. Clips from one of his videos have gone viral many times over. The reactions are pouring in and it's safe to say that foreigners are shocked, many locals are embarrassed, and many Guyanese who migrated are clutching their pearls and acting brand new like they usually do. Many, like myself, are saying, "I told you so," because Ellis hasn't pointed out anything new. Many locals and top journalists like Gordon Mosley have pointed out these issues for years. But I guess it takes a foreigner to get a reaction. Ellis talked about too much for me to address in one video, so I'll focus on the biggest problem. Georgetown is a filthy, chaotic mess. Garbage everywhere, so much in disrepair or poorly maintained, no order on the roadways, and the poor attitudes of so many people are the flies on top of this great big cow pie. Those videos and the resulting discourse have showcased the results of when people don't care about their country and the leaders don't care about their people, to the extent that these negative attitudes and straight-up squalor have become cultural. I must point out that most tour experiences in Guyana are carefully curated as any country would do, which is why many influencers and tourists show the best or are only shown the best. But for Guyana, the image and reality are sometimes so starkly different that it's no surprise that two vloggers who take their own path stumble into the worst without even trying. Uncleanliness, nasty attitudes, poor public facilities, and a plethora of other problems. We know the issues. We live them every day. Many are desensitized, detached, or delusional. So my question to the Guyanese at the top and at the bottom is, what are we going to do about it?
All the waterways are like this. Just covered in plastic waste, sewage. Look down here. It's a proper mess. It's just laziness, isn't it? Pure laziness. No one really cares about where they're living. I've watched everyone throw all the litter outside of the minivan windows.
So guys, welcome back. Many Caribbean countries called out this behavior that happened in Guyana, and most of them were attributing this behavior to racism and colorism, because most of them reckoned that a white person would not have been treated the same way this black man was treated.
Right, and this definitely made a lot of black travelers think twice about visiting Guyana, because at the end of the day, you're not going to that country to beg, you're not going to that country to become a menace. He was literally just minding his own business, right? So if you're gonna be choosing a holiday destination, then you might as well choose a place that is gonna be treating you well and is gonna give you the worth of your money, right? If they feel like they don't need to treat you well, then they definitely don't need to make revenue from your own money, you know. So people need to start, it's high time people start choosing places that accommodate, right, and appreciate the revenue they bring into that country. There was one creator, Black American creator called Afro Think Tank. I think most of you do watch his channel, right? And he was talking about a time where he was trying to discourage Black people or Black travelers from visiting places like Dubai, saying that these places do not treat Black travelers well and it does not treat melanated people well in general. So he was trying to encourage people, instead of going to places like Dubai, there are places like Namibia in Africa that have good deserts that you could go on a desert safari to visit, you know, and these places, they could literally give you the worth of your money. So people need to do more research in order for them to avoid places like this.
Right, because this was such a big issue that went viral, and even the Minister of Tourism made a statement about the same thing, right? So now the question becomes, how will Guyana repair its reputation with travelers and tourists, and most especially, how will they repair their relationship with Black travelers?
Right, clearly whatever happened, people did not take it lightly as they should, because in another situation, things could have gotten very, very bad. Because can you imagine someone random just attacking you simply because your you're filming them? I feel like, guys, for vloggers or people who do lifestyle vlogging or just travel content, you know, these people normally just keep to themselves, and the polite thing to do would have been to approach this person and, you know, prevent them from taking a video of you. Because I've seen foreigners even come to countries like ours here in Nairobi, right? If they film people and people don't like being filmed, you just hear them decline or telling them to stop filming them, and they will put the camera down. You know, it would have been a different situation if this person was aggressive with the person who didn't want to be on video, or it would have been a different scenario if the person would have told the one vlogging to stop recording them, and that person who was vlogging was rude about it. That would have been a different situation. But to just unprovoked, you approach a person and then physically attack this person, I feel like people need to respect other people.
Right, and also if you're from Guyana, since this incident happened last year, and I do know that we have some audience from Guyana, the biggest question you're also asking is, since this incident happened last year, how many of you heard it, and most importantly, what is the government doing to repair this relationship, or are they even interested in repairing a relationship with Black travelers?
Right, something needs to change, but to be quite honest, such places, I don't have that much of a high hope. You know, at the end of the day, such videos can be created to create that awareness, but I really don't think that much is going to change, because when you find a country that is deep-rooted in racism or colorism, the root cause of it is very deep, that to uproot that problem completely is very difficult. But the first step is talking about it, exposing such scenarios, you know, and telling people what is happening, so that people can be aware also, so that they don't get to go into such places blindsided, you know.
Right. Personally, I do believe that one man's action does not describe an entire nation, an entire country, because you know, bad stuff happen in any and every country, but the biggest comeback is how a country reverses that, and a country reverses that image by making changes in the policies they are making, you know, and making sure that consequences follow such people who bring bad image to the country.
I do have this conversation a lot with Africans or even Caribbean people who will often look down on Black Americans. Number one, they will say they're lazy, they ghetto. I've heard African parents tell their kids not to date African American men, not to marry them, things of that nature. What are some negative stereotypes y'all heard about Black Americans from your parents, from your friends?
You literally said it all.
Yeah. That's it?
Yeah, 100%.
Right.
Like my mom would tell me not to marry that. Yeah.
Right.
She says it all the time.
Even when I hear like African parents say that, it very much sounds like the same rhetoric that a white person would tell their kids. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't marry that Black guy, like he's ratchet, they ghetto. It's crazy to hear other Black people have that type of rhetoric towards each other.